Your Local View on WYCU LDTV 26, serving Charlestown, New Hampshire, the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, and central Vermont.
Coming up tonight on YCU, an old face takes a new position as Hartford's Public Service Director. New Hampshire has 3 bills proposed to decriminalize marijuana. Learn about an upcoming fundraiser for David's House at Eastman this weekend, where they're going to have plenty of snow to play in. And we have some girls basketball highlights, the Mascoma Royals and the Kearsarge Cougars. See which team dominated. With more news, sports, and weather, stay tuned. It's time for YCU, Your Local View.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region and central Vermont. News, sports, weather, public affairs, and all that's happening in our area. The news on YCU, Your Local View.
Welcome to YCU. I'm David Carmichael. Steve Locke is not a police officer, but he now oversees all operations at Hartford headquarters. But not like a typical police chief, Locke, who is also the fire chief, is the community's new public service director, a position created by the town after an unsuccessful search for a new police chief. Day-to-day operations will now be run by these two, Deputy Chief Lenny Roberts and newly appointed Deputy Chief Brad Vale. More than 90% of what Locke will do will be mostly administrative duties and paperwork police officers no longer have to do. The men and women of New Hampshire Army National Guard 237th Military Police Company held their official deployment ceremony on Sunday. The company will be deployed to Afghanistan for 9 months to support Operation Enduring Freedom. The company consists of 110 soldiers. They'll be trained in Fort Bliss, Texas for 2 months before departing to Coast Province to mentor Afghan National Police and conduct joint presence patrols against enemy insurgents. 77 soldiers are being deployed for the first time. Others are on their second or third deployment. Democrat Governor Maggie Hassan will be unveiling her spending plan for New Hampshire for the next 2 years on Valentine's Day. It's Hassan's first budget, and many whose programs were cut over the last 2 years are hoping that she will restore spending to what it was before the current Republican-passed budget. Hassan emphasized the need to restore state aid to higher education, but she also has been clear that spending cannot return to prior levels overnight. The focus Thursday will not only be on what programs she will give a boost to, but also how much she estimates the state will collect in revenues to pay for them. The House next works on the budget that takes into effect on July 1st. Legislation that would excuse New Hampshire's non-union employees from paying fees to negotiate and administer contracts is up for vote again in the House. Wednesday's vote comes after 2 recent failed attempts. Labor leaders, workers, and community members oppose the bill. Supporters say it's wrong to force workers to pay the fees as a condition of employment. A House committee will hear from the public tomorrow on a series of bills inspired by the proposed construction of a 180-mile transmission line originating in northern New Hampshire. The Northern Pass project would bring 1,200 megawatts of Canadian hydroelectric power into New England. A New Hampshire House committee is holding hearings on Thursday on 3 bills that would decriminalize marijuana. One of the proposed bills also proposes licensing marijuana and taxing its sale. The bill would legalize personal use of the drug of up to 1 ounce by anyone over the age of 21. A second bill would decriminalize the possession of less than 1 ounce. The third bill would remove penalties for possession or use of ganja. After the break, Charlie Tabor will tell us about a fundraiser for David's House at Eastman coming up this weekend.
The YCU News continues in a moment.